Here we go. We'll start in the same usual place, with a circle. Welcome to Drawing Pathos. My name is Patrick. This is a special extended edition. Extended Pathos. You see, I'm about to give you an unvarnished insight into the life of a nobody. I'm a little bit sloshed right now. That was not an accent that exists anywhere in the world, by the way. But no, honestly, earlier tonight I was getting off of work and a good friend of mine sent me a text message and said, "Hey, I'm at a heavy metal show downtown. Come check it out." And I was like, radical, dude. So I went downtown to a heavy metal show. And I'll be honest, I drank some beers. Let me give you an unvarnished insight. Wait, did I say that already? You see, that's the problem with imbibing chemicals. They change the way your brain works. And just in case you didn't know, your brain operates on chemicals. You produce neurochemicals. It does stuff to your brain. And there's a natural way to be. Just the way you are. Naturally. You're naturally beautiful. Just the way you are. But it turns out you can alter your state of mind. And change the way that you see things. By imbibing chemicals. But it's important to remember it's an altered state of mind. It's not an accurate whatchamacallit. I don't know. I would know the word, except that I drank some alcohol tonight. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. Just scary, because I don't know what I'm talking about in general. Check this out. I thought I was going to do the standard lazy nose, but I'm not going to do that. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, it's interesting to me. Like I said, I'm a little bit... And one of the reasons I'm making these videos is because I have a nephew. He's a baby. But one day he won't be a baby. I have no children of my own. Oh, that's it. Shut up. Anyways, as I was saying, I would like my nephew to be interested in his uncle's artistic endeavors. No guarantees in the world, And so I was thinking that I would, put these videos out there, and then maybe one day my nephew stumbles upon them and says, "Hey, my uncle was a cool dude." Ideally, he says my uncle is a cool dude, but, there's no guarantee. That's why I'm making this. But at the same time, I believe in honesty. I believe in reality. It's happening, man. It's happening right now, all around us. It's pretty cool. I like it. And, I want to participate. And that's why I'm saying is that there's going to be this little drawing video on the internet. Hopefully my nephew stumbles on it and he says, "Hey, I'm not going to alter my brain." Because I watched that one video and I was like, man, my uncle is an idiot. So I don't want to be like that. But like I said, there's no guarantees. And that's what this is. This is a little backup plan. Just in case everything goes to pot. Maybe one day the Matryoshka brain at the end of infinity will still have this series of zeros and ones in data banks, and it'll be like, Now what? Let's bring this dude back. Won't be me, of course. You probably don't know what I'm talking about. Or maybe you do. If you know what I'm talking about, bruh, you cool. Yeah, that's right. Should this dude have hair? Yeah, I'm gonna give him hair. Sweet. Give him a receding hairline, and of course a little flip. You know, I like when people got that flip. Not in real life. I like when drawings got that little flip. Or maybe I like it in real life. I don't know. That's the thing. You can't ever trust anything you say, think, or do when your perception is altered. Right? Remember, it's not reality. It's not cool, dude. Don't alter your brain. Like, there's been billions of years of evolution to determine what a cool brain is. And that's your brain right now. If you doubt me, check out those videos of drunk elks stuck in apple trees. Hey, what's that? It's something a little different. You know, usually I have the same music on in the background. Now I decided to change it up. I'm taking some risks, you know, because I'm uninhibited right now. So I was thinking, let me share some of this other stuff. Why not? What could it hurt? Nobody will ever hear this. Honestly, what is this? Like, I don't know, 8 minutes into this thing? Nobody will ever get this far into this video to hold me accountable for including bad music. Whatever. But I made this music and I don't think it's bad. I like it. But, you know, hey, we're all different. It's kind of why I've included it here to demonstrate that you don't need to be afraid, man. You can put whatever you want out there. In fact, you're better off doing it now than later. Stumble, fall, get back up. I don't know what that has to do with what I'm doing because I don't intend to do any of that. There's no stumbling, falling, or getting back up going on here. There's just forward movement into the nothingness. But it's cool. I mean, I don't want to depress you, but honestly, that's all there is. And as soon as you figure it out, then you can move forward into nothingness. It's not a bad thing, because honestly, since there's nothing there, you decide where you're going, what you're doing, what it's going to be. It's up to you. Don't waste your time. I mean, everybody's going to tell you that. Listen to that. Oh, that guy knows what's up. Just scream your head off. And then do what you gotta do. I think the best advice that I ever got was from a witch. And she said, don't think too hard about what you're doing. Just, you know, draw and shoot. I think she was talking about like draw your bow and arrow because she was old school Wiccan. In her world, there were no guns. But, you know, whatever. Draw and shoot. Don't think too hard. You know, aim and go. It's kind of like if you know how to play a musical instrument, you learn scales and modes and all of that. But at a certain point, man, you just go. I mean, or rather, you let go. Just do what feels good. That's the natural state, I hope. I've been thinking a lot about my nephew. He's a really generous 18-month-old. I appreciate how, I mean, I guess it makes sense. He's, you know, we've been shoveling food into his face since he was born, and so he thinks that that's what you do, right? And so he's eating, and he's reaching into his little plate, having some food and stuff in his face. And what does he do? He grabs a handful and offers it to you. I mean, it makes sense. People have been grabbing handfuls of food and offering it to him. He's like, hey, have some food. But it occurs to me that maybe it wouldn't be that way if he was worried about running out of food. He has no conception about the possibility of running out of food. I'm glad for that. He's lucky, and I'm lucky. We've been lucky. I wish everybody could be so lucky. And I wonder, where does selfishness come from? Is it something that our species is doomed to manifest across the board? Or is it related to external pressures, our need to survive? If we could survive well, would we be more magnanimous? I feed the cats on my street, and there's a couple big cats who are very nice to the other feral cats. They're like, hey, I'm cool. Go on and eat that food. I could mess you up, but I'm not going to, because I'm okay. And I think that, well, those cats don't have a conception of time. They don't know about now or tomorrow or yesterday, but we do. And maybe it's because we can think about now, tomorrow, and yesterday that we're full of fear. We're fearful of what tomorrow might bring because we don't know. And that makes us behave in, I don't know, bad ways. Not necessarily bad. I mean, it's natural. What are you going to do about it? You got to fight the tide. Fight the tide of entropy. Do the right thing. Go against the grain. I wouldn't tell my cat or the neighborhood cats to go against the grain, but I'm telling you to go against the grain because you're not an animal. I mean, you are an animal, but you're a very special animal. You're a human being, and human beings have the ability to decide. We can choose because we know about tomorrow and yesterday. The same things that fill us with fear should fill us with confidence. We should know that we're part of a grand scheme. I'm not trying to tell you that there's a method to the madness or an order. Well, no, there is an order, but there's not a method. It's mathematical. This place is so big, you're guaranteed to have cool stuff happening. And when I say this place, I'm literally talking about this place, where you are right now. It's huge. It's complex. It's rich. It's awesome. It's frustrating. It's maddening. It's saddening. Did you hear that nonsense? I'm sorry for that. But I did it on purpose, to get this deep into this video, to get this deep into this conversation. It's only for a select few, small number of people. It's kind of what I'm talking about here. It's like, it's amazing. This universe that we live in, it's not going to stop. It came from somewhere, nothing or something. It doesn't matter. That's not the point. My point is, here it is. It happened. It can't stop happening. You can't say, well, this is all 6,000 years old and the dinosaurs are fake. You also can't say, well, this came from nothing and it's going to go to nothing. Like, no, that's just not the way that it works. The fact that there is anything at all speaks volumes. And I'm impressed. And some people are like, oh man, I don't want it to stop. And I'm telling them, don't worry, man. You'd be lucky if this stops. It's not gonna stop. It can't stop. It just keeps going on and on best we can do is to appreciate it while it's happening. Say, dude, oh, this is the best. I want to do this again and again and again. And if you're having a bad time, I'm sorry. It's probably not your fault. I mean, 99% of the time. And you need to remind yourself of that. That you can't control what other people do. Just because people are mean spirited or selfish, that, that doesn't say anything about existence. It says something about the way they are, the way they're choosing to be. You can choose how you want to be. Choose your own adventure. This place is cool like that. I'm hoping that no matter what you do, well, actually, no, let me not say that. It's very important what you do. This is the day. Today is the day. Today is the day to choose what you will be. Before time, there was the potential of you. There had to be, because here you are. And then time happened. Doesn't matter what your belief system is, what you think about time, or how you think it happened, or what's going on. Let's agree that I'm here, you're here, we're here. This is happening. It's real. And it's not going to stop. One day, you will stop, for sure. Your brain meat, you're going to decompose. Don't feel too bad about it. Happens to the best of us. The cool thing is, the fact that you had brain meat at all, it's statistically improbable. Or absolutely possible. Or, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, really, I feel the odds are against us existing at all. But that's a foolish assumption. I mean, here we are, existing. Therefore, odds are pretty good. It's like if you have a universe, stuff like us happens. You really think that that won't happen anymore in the future? You think that, no, I'm not buying it. I mean, yes, death is inevitable. But so is rebirth. A lot of people want to make rules and tell you, well, rebirth this and rebirth that. I'm born again and things or stuff and blah, blah, blah. And like, I mean, I can't prove it to you and I'm not going to try to. But this doesn't just happen. And if it does just happen, well, I'm pretty sure other stuff will just happen. Including this. Over and over and over again. We should be so lucky as to dissolve into the oneness of everything. You might not know this, but that's actually the goal of some religions of the world. To dissolve into oneness. I don't know how I feel about that. Once I had a dream about the end of the world. I survived it somehow. And after the world ended, I was led through a series of landscapes by a otherworldly entity. And I think it was trying to show me that no matter what version of the world that you're in, there's more. As I wandered through a doomed world, I came upon several branching pathways, and at first I avoided them because every time I came upon the pathway, I had this sensation that were I to go down that path, there would be no return to the world that I knew. But this entity leading me forward was trying to communicate to me that that world was over. It was done. It was time for me to move on to a new form. I didn't want to. I kept avoiding it. And every time I turned away from the pathway that the entity presented to me, I became more afraid. And eventually, I found myself in a tunnel, digging a hole to perdition. I don't know where. I do know that eventually I got to the bottom of the hole and found that it was just dirt and I could go no further. I freaked out. At that point, everything went black. This is all contiguous. Allow me to reiterate. This is a dream I had. I'm not just babbling and making this up. This is real. And eventually I came finally to a crossroads. I mean, I didn't even describe to you the madness that I saw along the way. Maybe another time. It's a very vivid dream. I remember all the details. But the important part is that eventually I reached a path that went up through a carven stone stairway and a path that went down through the water. And there was a grate, an iron metal grate, and it would open up and allow the water to pass. And I knew that if I went down in through that grate, I would experience a world unlike anything I could imagine. And I also knew that if I went up those steps, I could get home, the place that I recognized and remembered. And I was afraid. I was afraid to move on to a new form of existence. So I went up the steps, and I found myself in a park in Moscow in the 80s. And there was a little babushka, a little lady wearing a headscarf. And I ran up to her and I gave her a hug because I was so happy to be in a world that wasn't destroyed, that wasn't doomed like where I came from. She had no idea what I was saying. And she called the police on me and they came and got me. But I was okay with that because I was like, look, I might be going to a gulag, but at least the world hasn't ended, which is where I was coming. I don't even get into that. That's too dark for this video. How it happened, what went down. It was a vivid dream, and I really hope that there is nothing to that. I mean, I don't need to hope. I know. Think about it. I was just talking about the statistical probability of us existing at all. It's pretty wild. Yet here we are. So it's kind of guaranteed. But at the same time, the statistical probability of you having a dream that turns out to be true on some level, I mean, it's not likely. Outside of the fact that dreams are kind of like, manifestation of our heuristic processing system. I mean, I don't know that for sure. I'm just saying words that I heard before. But honestly, rats dream about the mazes that they've been led through to help them figure out how to solve that maze in real life. And so we're kind of rats. And real life is kind of like impenetrable maze. We have no idea what's going on or why or how we got here or what we should do now that we are here. So it stands to reason that we might dream about those things that we can't understand except on that subconscious level. I apologize for what I'm doing to this guy's shoulders here. This is just garbage. But I prefaced this whole entire thing by saying, you will never get this deep into this video. You'll never get that deep into my mind. That's a stupid thing to say. Hey, finally, a dissenting voice. Where have you been? I've been watching you from the shadows. Oh, so you're one of those shadow voices. That's right. Why are you choosing to manifest now? Well, it's because I see you getting to the end of this drawing, and I think you're starting to mess it up. You have no idea what you're doing, so I'm going to intervene and make it not suck. Bold claims from a disembodied entity from another dimension. Yeah, that's right. All right. Well, man, I'm waiting. You see here, I'm still drawing. You gonna do something? Is this sounds that we're hearing significant to your manifestation here now? No. You only think it is because you're stupid. Well, thanks, man. What do you think we should do now? I think we should drop in a large black background. Where? Like right behind him? No, around the outside. He's haloed. Alright, that's fine. Would you mind telling me, what's this guy's deal? I don't know. Alright. I mean, are you saying I've been drawing him this whole time? Yes. Well, I don't know. We gotta come up with something. Yes. Alright. I mean, clearly he's some kind of elf character, right? No. Alright, well, come up with a better idea. He has an ear disease. Oh, man. That's kind of dark. Why do you want to go that way? Because I think elves are stupid. Okay. So, he's got an ear disease. Why has he got slits in his eyes? Just because you're a lizard alien shapeshifter, ruler of the world, doesn't mean that you can't have an ear disease. Yes it does. I mean, that is really stupid, man. Think about it. If you were some kind of shape-shifting creature from another dimension, you would not have big ass ears like this. I'm sorry, I said ass. I try not to do that kind of stuff. Yes, but what you don't understand is that when you can shapeshift, there are no rules. Maybe this guy likes having big ears. I didn't think about that. That is a really good point. There's no way to predict what you would do if you could do anything. I mean, I know ideally we like to think, well, a being that could do anything is like a god. And then we tell ourselves, well, God would know what the right thing to do. I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, if we're using the word a god, right? Then maybe, yeah. But words are the primary obstacle to communication. You know, we should all just be telepathic, get to the point. But we're not, and we don't, and we won't. That's how I know that there are no actual extraterrestrials. Number one, a telepathic extraterrestrial wouldn't come within a galaxy of us. I mean, our minds are full of junk. They would be very unhappy. We can't control ourselves. So that's not real. What else? Um, like I was saying earlier, my nephew is very generous, but he's been lucky. Another baby of a similar age might not have been as lucky and might not have developed the same traits. I don't want to tell you that evil and selfishness is ingrained in humanity. I think it might be ingrained in survival, though. Which is another reason I don't think that shape-shifting lizard aliens like this guy that I've been drawing exist, despite what the voices in my head tell me. Because if if you could do the kind of things that a interstellar shape-shifting species could do, you would help us out. I mean, think about it. That whole Prime Directive Star Trek stuff is bunk. If if you remove the hierarchy of needs, if we didn't have to struggle anymore, we would be kind to each other because it wouldn't hurt us to do it. Just like how the cats on my street that are well fed, they don't hassle the cats from down the road who are not well fed, who show up to eat. I don't think we need to reach a higher level of spiritual awareness. There are perfectly good people who are spiritually aware, who, when put in certain circumstances, do the wrong thing because they're afraid. If we could remove fear from our existence, we'd be kind to each other. It would be great. And that's why there's no spooky aliens. They don't exist, man. Because all they have to do is remove our need for energy, give us some manna from heaven, and we will rise to the occasion and you will see the true nature of people. You know, the true nature of people is kind and good. We fail because we're afraid to die. You shouldn't be afraid of that, man. It's like what I was saying earlier. It's really amazing that we're alive. And I think that it's going to happen. Not necessarily us, but life. It uh, it finds a way. Here you are. Here I am. Here we are. We just did it. That's pathos. The emotional connection. I'm trying to make an argument. I'm appealing to your sense of reality. Don't deny yourself or anybody else this amazing gift. Because you're afraid. I mean, we're really hyper aware. We're the most aware species on this planet. None of the other animals communicate like we communicate. If they did, they would tell us to stop killing the planet. I'm not saying that we are killing the planet. I'm not saying that we're not killing the planet. I'm saying that if there is a species alive on the planet aware of making that distinction, it's us. And if we can't make that distinction, oh, we're in trouble. We better hope for some type of shape shifting alien to save us. And that's my point. That's not going to happen. Look, if they're real, they're jerks. Because there's no reason not to remove this whole system of, I don't know, entropy. Yeah, entropy. Maybe there's no way around it. And if there is no way around it, like I said, you don't have to worry about uh, lizard aliens that go. That's annoying, man. Stop doing it. I'm sorry. Look, it was only for a couple of seconds. And honestly, what, this thing's been going on for half an hour? You ain't even been drawing for 10 minutes? Nobody got this far. You're right. I'm right. We're right. About more things than this. And if you don't agree with me, cool. I hope that you're disagreeing with me because you know better and not because emotionally you feel like I don't know what I'm talking about. I want you to concretely know that I don't know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? Wow. I just ranted through this whole entire thing. And I am not afraid. I should be, but I guess it's the benefit of being stupid. You don't have to be afraid, which increases the likelihood that you might get lucky. I don't know. That sounds like a bad gamble. What if I don't get lucky? Bruh, you done already got lucky. Look at what you're doing right now. Look at where you're doing it. Think about why you're doing it. That's luck. Ah, you're right. And when you're right, I quit doing this. Well, thank you. I'm ready to play some video games. Me too. Sweet. Okay. I highly doubt you made it this far, but if you did, you should get some therapy. Because I just did, and that's probably it's probably rough on you. Sorry you had to go through that. But thanks anyway.